It's Tuesday. Oh, Richard Screwing is in the vibe today. That was very cheerful too, how you did the maracas. Thank you, guys. Let me get rid of this. So excited today. We are celebrating Cinco de Mayo, even though it's not Cinco de Mayo for another couple days, but we're celebrating today here in the office. We have a KW Cares lunch, super mega 6-foot burrito coming in, plus a whole like beans and rice and chips and salsa, agua frescas, like the whole thing. So make sure you guys stay afterwards at 1 o'clock. Help us raise money for our amazing charitable nonprofit organization. So that we can get back to KW Cares, right? So in the spirit of Cinco de Mayo, I think that many years of my life, being a white girl that grew up in the middle of Idaho, right? I didn't understand what Cinco de Mayo was. And I think the important part about culture and diversity is that we always seek to understand, right? So one of the things I just want to go over is, what is Cinco de Mayo? How many people thought it was Mexican Independence Day? Very common misconception. It's actually not. Hispanic or Mexican Independence Day is actually September 16th. Interesting, right? So Cinco de Mayo actually celebrates the victory of the Battle of Puebla during the Franco-Mexican War in 1862. This is actually the highest day that avocados are consumed. The most avocados are consumed on Cinco de Mayo. And not surprising, it's celebrated actually more here in the US and in Europe than it is actually in Mexico. So if any of you guys celebrate, happy Cinco de Mayo a couple days early. We're happy to support you in your heritage and who you are. Even happier that we get to celebrate with you with a giant super burrito. Okay.
Tequila too.
And tequila. Simon, any comments? I'm like, where's my tequila? There it is too.
Margaritas, right?
Yeah, those will be hiding in my office. You have to say the passcode and I'll get you in, and you'll get some of that in your soda there. So let's start our meeting, the KWCP today, by some bucket fills. So who has a bucket that they'd like to fill for someone? Give them a shout out, appreciation, something they've done to help support you. Bucket fills.
Simon, thank you.
Yay!
For being there,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You guys, Simon's the best broker. I'm telling you, so hands-on. Earlier today, we had a problem with a listing. Something got clicked, or I don't know what it was that went wrong. And I instantly knew I could go to Simon. And no kidding, he was on the phone here, there, and there. And next thing you know, it was all corrected. So it was so awesome. You guys, he's here for you, even though he's a team leader and a broker for another office. How many agents are you up to in South Bay too? Isn't it like
I think the last count was 422.
wow, pretty amazing. So yeah, over 600 agents with both offices, almost 700.
But I'm highly leveraged, so don't be a problem. I've got a great group of team players.
Love and support. Special shout out to our 20% club yesterday. Who was in that session? 20% club. Valerie, you were there. Yep, Jason, you guys were there. It was great, right? Any comments? Things like that?
yeah, get on board.
Yeah. We talked about Chat GPT and implementing it at a really high level. Again, Richard, you didn't raise your hand, but I know you were in there. Remember the 20% club. That is carved out for the top agents in our brokerage at any current month, the top 20% of the office. So it's always something that you can earn into, have a great month, have a great couple months, and you'll be in there back to back. But we always bring that training to you at a really high level. Now, because of the popularity, many people couldn't be there. We will be having a follow-up session, something that's going to be open for everyone. So, of course, I'm going to make sure that all of you guys get the exclusive invite so you can get added to that training. We're most likely going to have it off-site, but this guy was amazing. If you haven't started investigating in Chat GPT, now is the time. Technology has only been out for 6 months, and you can be a very tech-enabled agent. People like Allison Van Wig, Kendra Miller, they're already using this and implementing this in their business. So great, super. Anyone else? Bucket fills? Shout outs, Janet.
Yeah, since they're here, the Terms and Klein team, they always are so ready to help me out with everything that I need, whether it's swag for filling my boxes that I put on porches, or whether it's getting addresses. They're always like to get everything to me so quickly, and it's very much appreciated.
Awesome. Yay. Such a nice shout out. Yes, Pete.
I want to second that, TV, and then also Sophia for all my questions. I know I have a barrage all the time. Always answering in the time of man. Thank you.
Yeah, oh, we're always happy to help. Sophia's mostly friendly, so we're good. Good. Okay, thanks, guys. Well, I do have a special bucket fill. Shout out to Capper, new Capper, Janet Derry. You guys, round of applause. Come on up here. We have a little something for you. Just in case you guys are new to our office or new to Keller Williams, those agents that have done a production to earn, to pay into the company at least 13,000. So to pay their cap, then get 100% for the rest of their anniversary year. So Janice has achieved that, which is great. So congrats here to you. One thing or one piece of advice that helped you get to the cap.
Consistency, and it's the hardest one, but if you do, just do things on a regular basis and you're consistent with it, it brings you the business.
That's awesome. Well, congrats. Here's Sophia. Yeah, Simon, hop up here. Come here. Oh, my goodness.
I want to put you in the middle with that.
Super cute. Thank you. Again, congrats, Janet. So excited to celebrate you. Worked so hard, and you're always so generous with helping those here in the office and giving a lending hand on top of everything. So we just thank you so much. In case you guys missed it, Keller Williams was named America's best employer for diversity this year, and that's not just out of real estate offices, it's actually out of all other companies. With the implementation of our diversity, equity, and inclusion program, the DEI community, the agent of distinction certification that any of you can take, which basically teaches us how to lead a more equitable and representable business. I'm so excited and so proud for our company to be on the top of this list. You guys, round of applause, okay? Congrats. Okay, so let me move this around. I don't know what was happening 9 months ago, but we had a burst of birthdays this month. It almost didn't, did you count backwards? August, is it? Okay. Yeah, one of the most birthdays we've had in a month in a while. So anyways, if you guys see anyone on this list, if you're on this list, congrats. So excited to celebrate your birthday this month. Happy birthday from all of us. And that gift is so cute. Do you see her spitting out her dentures? She's 102 though. She deserves it, right? Doing great. Yeah. Great. Shout out to our newcomers. Carolyn, I'm not sure if you're there on Zoom, but Carolyn joined us as a producing agent from Century 21. So welcome, Carolyn. So excited. Michael, you're here in person. Why don't you stand up, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, what you're doing, what you're excited about.
I'm from
Company, where you come from?
I'm from here.
Yeah.
And like in 20 years. Learning Keller Williams and Shannon Jones, and don't know her, sure you do. I'm going to be an agent for her, and I think the whole
We're so excited to have you. Awesome. Welcome, you guys. Okay, so yet again, something else that Sophia had to make teeny tiny text, which makes it really exciting. It was a great week for closings. So Ace, you had one there right at the top. Congrats, Robert, Jeremy, Tim Majka, Dolph, and Jeff. That's Dolph's first transaction. Just in case you guys missed it, Mnuchin Group and Crystal Allen, Sperling. That was a big deal. Congrats. Great volume. Chanel, Tim Horton, Allison. Allison, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closings in a week. Wow. Allison Van Wig. Chun, congrats. Joni, congrats. Kendra, congrats. I hope I'm not cutting anyone down off the bottom because I can't see. Drum roll, please. That equals $21,632,000 in total volume we did as an office. Congrats. Kind of like the gal on there. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. When I saw that number, I was really happy. It's still that 600 is stuck in my head from that one week, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at our new listings. There's one in Anza, Valerie Maldonado. I'm not sure if you're on Zoom. Please feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to pitch your listing. Piece of land is listed at 165. New listing, Chris Gordon. Chris, I know talked about it last week when he was here. He has a listing in Hawthorne at 845. Allison has a condo in Tustin, 520. Allison has another one on Hardwick in Long Beach, 750. George Kirkson, he's not here, but he has one listed at 1.275 down in Cerritos. Drew Stelios and Gus has a new listing up in Big Bear income property. It is 8 units listed at 1.8 million. Deborah Harrell, good to see her name on there. She's a condo in San Pedro for $390,000. Okay, any listing pitches, buyer needs? Janet.
Yeah, I have it coming soon in the Newberry Lots. It's penthouse, 983 square feet. It's like, it's something that James Bond would live in. I mean, it's just like that 60s cool. I mean, it's a new building. It's 2017, so everything's really sleek. But I mean, it just has that really cool vibe to it. Plus, it's got a 200 square foot balcony that looks to the west, nice sunsets and things, and it's going on the market this week for $649,000, and we still have the one in Westminster at 5521 Minehart, which is 950,000, 2,150 square feet. Looking for the right buyer. It's right on the freeway. The freeway is your backyard, but it's super large. It's priced below market value, so it's good for someone looking for a big house.
Awesome, congrats. Again, another great door knocking opportunity, I'm sure. Take that out, hope you're gonna sell that property, right? Think about those things. Anyone else? Buyer needs, listings, coming soon? Okay, well, we must have sold them all this last week, I think. That is what happened. Great, so as you guys can see, we're nearing the end of our construction. Hallelujah, because I swear if I was gonna have to listen to those guys one more time, I was gonna have to take out my eardrums. But anyways, if you guys have seen, the new cubicle space is up. It's there. There are reserve signs on them because we're going to start renting them out again. So if you're interested in renting the 4 cubicles that are there, come talk to me, come talk to Sophia. We can talk to you about pricing. We've had quite a bit of interest in it. So most likely we're going to take all the names and we'll do a lotto. Okay, we'll draw names and those are the people that will get offered first. So let us know so we can put you on the list. It's a great spot to work. Again, just on the other side there of those little cubicles, okay? Kim, you're up next.
Hello, everyone. So today I wanted to talk about Facebook ads, right? We all know that Facebook, one of the best features of Command is that we have the ability to run Facebook ads. They're targeted, they're simple to do, and they're also economical when you run a Facebook ad through Command. But a lot of times I get asked, what type of Facebook ad works for me? If I don't have a listing to promote or an open house, which by the way are the biggest lead gen type of ads, or I don't have a just sold property that I can use to promote my business and my brand, what would I do? What kind of Facebook ad would work for me? So today I wanted to give you an idea of one type of ad. You can be creative and run with the idea. There's lots of topics we can come up with, but this type of ad will be using your KW website. All right. So before I show you the steps of that, basically, I just want you to remember when you're scrolling through Facebook and you come across an ad and you click on that ad, you're being taken to some destination, right? There's some other website or some type of destination that ad is directing you to. So what I'm going to show you is how you can use the property search on your very own website, save a criteria in the search that goes along with your topic for your Facebook ad. And this will not only serve as the URL, the destination that you're going to bring people to when they click on your ad, but it's a great way to drive traffic to your website. And it's another option to lead gen when you don't have a listing. So let's get into, I'm going to go through the pieces of the Facebook ad at the end, but let's see the next slide. Okay, so basically we're just going to go to your KW website. And we're going to utilize that property search that's right in the center of your homepage. Okay, we're going to put the criteria in there. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so for the purpose of today, what I thought I would do is an ad on homes with a pool. So it's summertime is coming. People love to spend time in their backyard, and there might be some home buyers out there that may be looking for a home with a pool, right? So we're going to generate an ad that directs people to a list of homes with a pool. So the first criteria I gave it was Long Beach, right? And you can be as specific as you want. If you want to narrow it down, that's great. And then on the right-hand side, I know it's small for you to see, but in the property criteria, I clicked on pool. So that's the keyword that I want to search on. Okay, and so now you can see that there's the little map there, and it's showing me all the homes in the Long Beach area that have a pool. Now, before we move on, I do want to caution you on one thing. Remember that these are keywords. So primarily, you are going to get properties where the agent in the MLS has used the keyword pool. But remember, they may not have said this home has a pool. They may have said the backyard has room for a pool. So just something to be cautious of. For the most part, in the property descriptions, agents are putting, whether it has a pool or it doesn't. So it's going to be 99.9% accurate. Okay, the next slide. So now after you've saved that search, you simply want to go up to your browser and you're going to highlight and copy that URL. And that's the URL that you will use as your destination. So when you're composing your ad and command asks you, where do you want to send these users to? This will be the search that you're sending them to. So as I said, it's not only driving traffic to your website, but it's also giving you something to talk about when you may feel you don't have a lot to talk about. And then the next slide, Halley. Perfect. So, and now here is the ad. So I quickly put this together. You can be as creative as you want. The top part would be your main copy. I simply said, summer's almost here. Pool parties and late night swims are always enjoyable in your own backyard. If you've always dreamed of owning a home with a pool, check out my list of homes for sale in Long Beach with a pool. So I use some caps. I use some emojis. That's always great for drawing attention, because remember, people who, they don't get on the internet and say, let's see, I want to shop for homes today, I'll go to Facebook. That's not generally how it works. But when they're on Facebook and they are searching for a home, you want to make sure that you catch their attention. So down at the bottom, there's a headline, and that's just basically what your ad is about. I was very general. Enjoy your backyard pool, because it's not the place where you want to put too much description in, because there is a character count there. And then underneath that, is room for description. And basically, it's just an expanded version of what you have there on the top without the emojis, because the whole thing is not displaying. The button I chose was learn more, right? Because we're going to take them to our saved search where they're going to learn more about homes with a pool. And then what I've circled there is just so that you can see that it is going back to my website. So that's a quick rundown of how we can do this. Now, what other types of ideas can we come up with? Well, let's see. Maybe you do a saved search on homes with a view. Or maybe you're dealing with a home that's in a hot neighborhood for a particular school district. Well, you can search on that as well. There's lots of things you can come up with. Maybe single story homes for people who are downsizing or don't want a 2-story any longer. So the sky's the limit. You can be as creative as you want. And then on the next slide, I've just indicated here that Scott Leroy does have a Facebook ad class coming up on May 26th. If you can't make that, we do have recordings on our YouTube channel at KW Shares. And then of course, Scott Leroy has lots of YouTube channels on Facebook ads on his channel as well.
That's great. Thank you, Kim. Facebook ads are a great way to lead generate at a very low cost. Excuse me, I'm going back one slide because it's important to just note really quickly the difference between you running something through Facebook Ads Manager versus running something through Command. And that's right up here at the very top. Do you see how this says Keller Williams sponsored? It's generic. That's marketing subliminal, because what happens is your ad feeds into the giant pot that Keller Williams is advertising on a daily basis. Now, what does that mean for you? One, you get the brand name of the Keller Williams ad and having that up at the top, and not so-and-so realtor DRE number, whatever, when you have your business page. But also you're getting a lower cost per click per lead. We're talking $5, $10, sometimes even $20 less per click. Some people have gotten it down to like $2. One was like $1.25. So it was very, very powerful. So if you're not utilizing Command at a high basis, talk to Kim, come to this class, because again, this is the most cost-effective way to reach the most amount of people. Okay, great. Thank you, Kim. Awesome. Let's bring up our affiliates and our partners. Sarah, Ely, Alex, come on up. Sarah, you're first.
Yay. Update right now, taxes have all been paid, tax program open. Just other than making sure, I always want to touch on like getting files prepped. I have a couple files right now, like I'm working with a couple realtors that have a mess of a chain of title. And we're working with title really quickly to hopefully get things fixed as soon as possible. But when you have HOAs, when you have city reports, again, when you have probably a message chain of title, it's good to get your prelims ordered so we can start working on those right away. At least get like your title profile report so you know who's showing a record. Like I have one where they had their attorney draw a deed transferring it into a trust, and the county assessor did not recognize it because the attorney made a mistake on the legal description, and the person's now deceased. So it's been a nightmare to kind of work on stuff like that, but you never know when these things come up, so just something to keep in mind. Ordering HOA docs in advance because they're 8 to 10 turnaround times. I have a few escrows that have opened with a 21-day escrow, and now sellers have to pay for a rush that they weren't anticipating or expecting. So things we can like warn people ahead of time so they're not surprised when they're in escrow. And reminders to do your addendums. I just constantly, I have an escrow that opened and there's no close of escrow date on it. And I was like, what's the thing? There's 2 like nobody countered it, just things happen all the time. So just make sure to do your addendum, make sure to read through your contracts. If you have questions, you want me to review anything with you, please don't hesitate to call me and I'm here for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Leah, why don't you come on up here? Actually, no word of the slides here. You're a special guest. Aaron.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, so our logo right there. That's me. Note center in front. Hi there, I work for Lena. My name's Aaron.
The other way around. But an interesting fact. His birthday is Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, really?
From one of those, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Everybody always asks me, what's your birthday? And I tell my friends, we're just gonna catch a movie. You guys wanna go? Or something? Everybody wants to party on that day. You know, in the, first of all, I wanna say what an amazing team you have here. You, Haley, Manny, Simon, Jennifer, in the absence of excellence, would you guys all be doing as good as you are? I mean, it's amazing the team you have here providing what they do for you so that you can excel and exceed. And take these words seriously, because in the absence of excellence, then it becomes price or other things that are factors that are really not important. And you guys are surrounding yourself with actually excellence. And you're doing that with my NHD as well, because we are the world leader in natural hazard disclosures. And we have things in our report. When you're using our report, you're using a report that is so far above everybody else's report, because we include, and we introduced this 4.5 years ago, actual aerial maps in the reports. No other company's doing actual aerial maps in their reports. And we can't believe it, because it's already been 4.5 years. And if you can't click on the view maps and you print out the report, we give you a QR code, take your phone to it, and the map will pop right in your phone. And no other company. We can't believe it. That was 4.5 years ago. But also, you know, we've all heard the term devil's in the details, right? Terms and conditions. Imagine using a report that would require you to go to small claims court to fight, and you've got to go. But if that doesn't work, you have to go to arbitration in Fresno or San Diego or something like that. Imagine using a company like that. When you use MyNHD, the world leader in natural hazard disclosures, you're using a company that puts it back in it with $10 million errors and emissions insurance. For farmers insurance right here in California. No requirement for you to go to small claims, no requirement for you to go to arbitration. We bring out the big guns from the attorneys. The only thing we ask is you can't hire your brother-in-law as your attorney. You pay for that. We're going to bring our attorneys, that's Jennifer Felton, who happens to represent about 250 escrow companies here in California. She's our disclosure attorney. That's part of our big guns that we would protect you. But that being said, there's never been a loss to any party because of an error in the MyNHD report. So terms and conditions are very important. And if you knew all these things, the decision would be very easy as to who you use for your disclosure company, right? MyNHD. And I can't thank you enough for using us and putting your trust in Lena and Roberta and the entire MyNHD family. And here's the last issue I'm going to talk about. That's going to be local disclosures. Just had an issue on this. Guy wants to buy a property and it turned out to be he was a friend of mine. So I said, let me pull it up and see what sort of hazards are going before he puts the bid on the house. Let me see what's going on with this house and see what's your plans. He wants to develop and build on this house. Turns out it's not in a FEMA flood zone. No problem. You're not going to have to pay flood insurance. No worries. All good there. But guess what? You're in a local flood zone. And very few companies add the local disclosures in this thing. What does it mean that he's in a local flood zone? Well, the lender's not going to care. They don't look at local flood zones. And the way I describe it is FEMA flood zones, that's a state looking at it from the 50,000 foot level. They're looking at everything. But then the county of LA, the county of Orange, the county of San Diego, the county of Ventura, they have their own geologies. They're in our backyards. So they have their own little fire zones and little flood zones. If you are in a local flood zone, the lender doesn't even look at that. No requirement on flood insurance, no big deal, right? That's what's asked. Because if you are in a local flood zone, you decide to develop your property, remodel, or build onto it, the city's not going to let you. You have to go with the city. They're not going to let you because you're in their local flood zone. And imagine if you had a report that didn't show the local disclosures. Imagine that. The seller would probably come back to you, or the buyer would come back to you saying, why did this report not show it? Well, we went with a company that did not have local disclosures because we didn't even know any better. We do the work, everybody gets the protection, right? We have geotechnical expertise on staff to answer your questions. So when your client takes a look at this report, and I know it's the sexiest part of the transaction, so don't fall asleep. But when your clients ask you about something that's in the report because they don't understand it, don't try and read it and figure it out and say and define it what it is. Turn it over to us. Lena's great at answering these questions, and she has the geotechnical staff that can help her answer these questions for you for your plan. We're not going to burn the deal. We're just going to make them understand what it means that they're in a particular zone or not in a particular zone. Right? And the last thing I'll say is the sooner you order the report, the better. Order it upon listing. Why? Because if you order it at the end of the transaction, once the buyer gets this report, they have 3 days right of rescission to get out of the deal. Imagine that they want out of this deal and they haven't seen the NHD report yet, the MyNHD report. And then they get it, and they can come up with something like, I wanted to be in a flood zone and I'm not. I'm out of the deal. Nobody can see anything. They're gone. They're out of it. So if you order it upon listing, which you don't close, you don't pay, so you might as well get it on the front end, you can get rid of that 3-day right of rescission up front. And there's no way they can come back later and have any way to get out of the transaction. Right? So remember, we're part of your transaction, we're part of your team, we're part of your family. Congratulations, because each and every one of you have surrounded you with the very best. And we're so proud to provide the absolute best in reporting. So great price, great product, great service. Thank you. And did I just say?
What he said.
Thank you. She coached me on that earlier. She told me what to talk about.
So I just want to piggyback on what you said, Eric, that it's actually 5 days, not 3. It's not 3, it's 5 days.
Yes, it's 3 if it's delivered in person, 5 electronic.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah. If we just get rid of the 3,
Yeah.
great. So you want to just get rid of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't-
super
This should not
It
even be
doesn't
an
cost
issue.
you
to get
anything.
to the-
Yeah.
Stop
Stop
correcting this so much. Come on. No, like, it's so much easier to look it up and pick it up. Yeah. Or no, it's easier for you to make it up than to look it up. Right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
My class last week.
So good.
I got some good tidbits, and hopefully you'll take my next class, and if you can't come to class will come to you. We can sit down together and go over.
Lena, you got so much class, it's unbelievable. You know?
Yeah. I love that. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. We're so happy to have you.
By the way, Brody is very fit, and it's such great humble. He's the founder and the owner of MyNHD, which is a big deal. So thank you for being here.
I was gonna say, no.
I've been doing
I
this.
don't
There's
think so.
not, I don't sound old or anything, but I've been doing this despite my youthful parents now for 35 years. Right? Crazy. And I'm a product of the 60s. I'm already in my 6th decade, but I'm not gonna let your youth and experience affect our relationship one bit. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Here, just a special reference to the big supporter of the Women's Council of Realtors. I got
We
to
are.
hang out with them in Sacramento
I
this
was just
weekend.
there in a second. I follow you.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, but first of all, great class. Were you guys, anyone in the class today? It was amazing. Amazing. Thank you for bringing that. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we did a class, maybe it was on Zoom, maybe it was just a recap on class on trust today and estate planning. Orion is fantastic, and so if you, did we record that today?
Yeah,
we did.
She didn't want, yeah.
It's a ton of great info, and we're happy to share it with you. And just a couple quick things while Teely is getting the computer set up. We did put a little excellence piece out ourselves today. You know, it's really important in this industry on who you're surrounding yourselves with. So we're super proud. We work with the Fortune 500 Fidelity National Title, and we are ranked 238 in the Fortune 500 list. So the top ranked title company in the title insurance industry. And that's just so important, you guys, when you're choosing companies that are representing your clients, their money, their most expensive asset, things like that. So we set that out, and you know, selected by Forbes as being one of the best managed companies in America. So just a couple little things there. But today we are going to talk about on our Fidelity Passport system. We're just going to show you a little snippet of it. You can now pull the tax reports for the estimated property tax per purchase calculator, and also with your estimated supplemental taxes. So Teely was just going to do a little demo how you can log into Fidelity Passport. If you do not have a Fidelity Passport account, which Teely will go into a little more what it does, let us know. We'll set up a quick account. There's also the app version, which is called Title Force Pro, uses the same username and password. It's a little different. You're not gonna get your tax reports on the app, but you can get drive-by property profiles.
Which I showed last week or
On
2 weeks
title,
ago.
except
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Are you ready to take it away?
Yes, so this is the Fidelity Passport, so web-based, okay, and once you have your login details, you're just gonna plug it in at the top. And then once it's gonna load, and what you can see here is you're gonna have find your subject property. Now, this system, you can pull like different lists and pull property profiles, you can do a lot of stuff with it, but what I'm gonna show you is just how to do these estimated property tax profiles. You do have options, so if you click on this little drop down, it's going to give you options on what you want to search. If you want to do like owner name search, a mailing address, an APN, a Google Map search, you can do that. Now, this is nationwide. It sometimes is a little bit limited in some different states, but you can have a look at that when you log in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to search a property. Okay. Like, oh, I don't have my phone yet. Okay, so then I'm going to search the address. And then now it's going to, on the left-hand side, you can see where you've got a section where you can actually select different options of what you want. So you can do like a property profile, a lender profile, you've got different things in here. Now, if you wanted to just pull the estimated property tax profile, you would want to unselect all of these because it's going to be pulling in a full profile. So property characteristics, all of that. So if you just want that single page estimated tax, you would want to just unselect everything. And then you're going to go down to the bottom and you can see here, it might be a little bit hard for you guys in the back, but it says estimated property tax profile. And then, oh yeah, perfect.
And you can pull a current one too, so you can pull either the current taxes or the estimated for your buyer.
And then you would enter the purchase price, and then we would click get now. Now I've already ordered this, because I actually did my Title Tech Tuesday on this today, so it would just automatically load. Once you click get now, it's going to open up a new file, like a new tab in here, and then you're going to be able to view that there. You're going to have the option to either email the report, you can download the report. Obviously I had selected everything so you can see full property details, but I'm going to go right down to the bottom. So if you did only want that single page, you would obviously want to unselect everything on that sidebar that we were looking at. And I'm going to go down here, and then you can actually see the estimated property tax profile. You've got your estimated new amount. It's also going to have the estimated monthly, and then it's going to show you that estimated supplemental as well. And then as you scroll down here, you can also see the different assessments and bonds. So it's going to break it down. So if there was any mellow roofs or anything, you can actually see that on there. And I know that Caitlin has a contact as well.
Yeah, so we've had this question a few times lately when Mellow Roofs, we don't have a ton in LA County right here in our area, but sometimes Orange County, a lot in the Inland Empire have Mellow Roofs. If you ever need to know when those expire, because I know that is a question for buyers, reach out to us. We have a contact at home. Let's see how long that's going to be on the property. If there's an escalator and we adjust it anyway, but we can get some information for you so you can tell the buyers how long it's going to be. Mellow Roofs to be included on your property.
So yeah, that's how quick and easy it is to do that through the Fidelity Passport. So if you do have potential buyers looking, wanting to know, you can pull this, right away. So let us know if you need an account. We'll be happy to set you up.
And also on the estimated taxes, you guys, this will give you kind of a few months. We don't know those amounts, on those estimated taxes at closing. So I'm sorry, estimated supplemental, thank you for reading the mic, on the supplemental taxes. So we don't know those amounts. This gives you an estimate. The LA County assessor has a great supplemental tax calculator as well. So if you need a link to that website, it's going to give you that information. But always let your clients know those supplemental taxes are not included in their in-town accounts. Okay, supplemental taxes are a one-time tax, a catch-up tax. And so they're not going to be included. If they think, oh no, I paid them, they have not. They'll get a one-time bill after closing. So it's important that you kind of let them know that. We can send you some information on that as well.
Is there an app for this?
Yes.
Or just a,
It's
yes.
Title Force Pro, so you use the same login information, so
But you're not able to do the full estimated tax profile on the app. So I always say if you were maybe doing, like I showed you 2 weeks ago to do the drive-by profile, if you maybe wanted to pull in that info,
still snap a picture of it through the app and pull it, because it's actually gonna save that search, and you can also email it to yourself. Then when you're back around your computer, you're able to pull it up on your phone, see what the property address was, and then you can do that full detailed search as well.
Yeah, we're being told it's coming on the next update, but for now, it's better just to get it on.
Web
the
based,
web
yes.
based.
Or reach out to us and let us know.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you. Alex.
Everybody. Thank you. Alex here, NAL Financial, your mortgage market update here for May 2nd. We have, the Federal Reserve meeting as we speak, right? Tomorrow, 11 a.m. is the decision. It's widely believed that we're going to see a 0.25% interest rate increase as well. Pretty baked into the market already. We lost quite a bit of ground yesterday in interest rates, and then they came back today because of what's called the JOLTS report, the jobs opening report. What Chairman Powell wants to do is he wants less jobs open, and less jobs came out compared to expectation. So the amount of jobs available relative to the people looking for jobs went down, which means that as interest rate increases are working, and the mortgage market liked that. So we do have rates still hovering kind of where they were last week, around the 6s for conventional, low 6s, high 5s for FHA, then the mid 6s for jumbo. What are coming down are those non-QM loans. I don't know if all of you have experienced them or not, but the bank statement style loans, the loans where we can get someone an investment property based on the amount of rent that they're collecting. That's called debt service cover ratio. That's what commercial loans are done on. Those rates are in the 7s, low 7s. So it's a way to avoid using your tax returns. It's a way to get into a property with less underwriting scrutiny. And the rates are not much higher than what you're seeing for these really scrutinized loans. So keep that in mind. I'm doing a few of those right now on the rental. They have to put some decent money down to make the rent smash the payment, but we can use the interest only payment for that calculation. So they're clever loans in really good ways for us to get people into properties that, you know, definitely don't want to be scrubbed very hard. And it's just only payments. How long is that? It's a 10-year interest only. Yeah. So it's a really nice loan, and they're fixed. So they're 10-year interest only, and then they're fixed for the rest of the 20 years of the 30-year term. That's 7%. So it's a hedge against people think rates are going to come down, right? And he talked about May 10th. You think rates are going to come down, but if they don't, these loans are fixed in perpetuity. So you can always do refi, but this one uniquely it's a 1031 and it's closing in an LLC. So it's pretty hard to find a bank that's willing to do like a conventional loan that allows you to close in an LLC. That's where this loan comes into play. So you have your options. Our banks are open, not closing, so.
Oh,
Thank you
right.
very much,
Thank
everybody.
you. Okay, Janet, come on up here. Excited to hear what you're going to talk about.
Giving you guys a tip. You might have seen my posting KW shares. What's happening right now is there's a bill that's going through the House, which is HR 2555, and it is the Securing Access to Lower Taxes by Ensuring SALT Deductibility Act. Now, I know taxes are super boring. I find them boring. But this is actually really exciting. Back in 2017, they put a cap on SALT. SALT is the state and local taxes. And we used to be able to write off our state and local taxes, including our property taxes, in full. Now it's capped at 10,000. And you know, with prices in California, property taxes alone can be higher than 10,000. So this is a huge, huge deal, especially in California, New York, other states that are really high. But we want to get the word out to all of our friends everywhere in all states to contact their representative. For me, it's Bobby Garcia. I've already written to him and urge them to pass this. We really want to go to get word out to, some of the states that maybe they are lower costs and things, because we need their support on it too. But this is super, if people are telling you to contact your database and you don't know what to say, right here is a gift to you, because you are giving them some information that can save them thousands and thousands of dollars each year. This will be dealt with this year, and so it go into effect next year. I mean, it could go into effect this year, actually. Yes, Jason.
You're saying the bill's gonna make that cap?
It's gonna
Yes,
repeal it,
yeah,
yes.
It's going to
Repeal
repeal
the
that. It's 164B of the IRS code. I have the, if you need to find your representative, I have this here. It's also, I think, in the what I put on the KW Cares slide.
If this passes, what will the new rates review about the write-off fee?
It doesn't affect the interest rate. This is just purely for the
Oh,
salt,
it's just a
the
repeal.
state and local taxes.
Yeah,
right?
so it just says, hey, right now we can only write off a maximum of 10,000, so this would apply to homeowners, and my question too would be with Fidelity. Could you provide a list of homeowners that are paying more than $10,000 in taxes every year? I'm just saying, like, let's turn this into prospecting in dollars, right?
Yeah.
Talk about a conversation to, yeah.
I am going to be contacting all of my database on this. Send them a text. I'm going to follow up with a phone call. If you door knock, it's something excellent to door knock with. It's just something that people might not be aware of, and it's a good value item to take to your clients, your customers, your prospective customers. And I would encourage you to set the example by contacting your representative and making sure, and contacting your friends in other states to make sure that they contact the representative to support this. This is going to be huge for our state. It could be a big win. You could be the person delivering the news of their big win. So
Awesome. Thank you, Janet. Jason Tapper. Right. Great. Broker update. Look at that mug. Come on up here, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? What I wanted to share with you today is the procuring cost dispute. Does everyone know what a procuring cost dispute is? Okay. All right. Awesome. You people do.
Maybe say it. Yeah, again.
So it's when someone has the burden of proof to identify a commission complaint, right? We get a lot. It hasn't happened recently, but we do definitely get agents inquiring about a complaint of commission. They'll call and say, you know what, I've been working with this buyer. They went MIA. I find out a month later that they are in escrow with another agent. Well, I have entitlement to a commission. Okay. Well, the question in the follow-up do I have is, tell me a little bit more of this particular client. One, do you have something in writing that this is your client that you're working with, which should be what? Your buyer representation agreement signed and executed by the buyer, right? Two, is it completely filled out too as well? Do you have all the elements on that form, right? Be very specific. Number three, did you show properties? Did you submit offers? All of those are relevant positions to get you where you need to be in order for us to challenge that, right? Because at the very end, folks, what happens is that if we don't have a very strong case here, it's going to be very hard to really challenge, because then the burden of proof falls on the agent that is asking for compensation, right? And then we have to escalate it into an arbitration case. The good thing is we definitely have the resources, we have risk management, we have attorneys. If it's a legitimate case and we have position to ultimately go after a commission dispute, we just need to have all the documentation in place. But you also have to be mindful that if you don't have certain things in writing, it makes it very difficult for us to go after a commission. And I know we all work very hard, right? Super hard, showing properties, submitting offers, right? But if you don't have necessary position, then ultimately you can be in a position that you will not be able to get any commissions. All right? Any questions to that? Yes, sir.
But if you can't establish procuring cause, and you go to arbitration, who's gonna be responsible for paying the other agent? And how much? So does that come from the broker that actually closed the deal? Are they gonna have to pay the other agent?
Tell me a little bit more. I'm not sure if I understand the question, Richard. So,
Okay, so
you're the one that's actually fighting for a commission.
I'm fighting for a commission.
Right.
So once I have all the things that you said, the proof that I'm actually working on this plan with fire.
Right.
But this other agent closes the deal, so one property closes the deal. Right. And we go to arbitration because I know it doesn't stand up for it.
Right.
We go to arbitration and the arbitrator says, yes, he has procuring causes. It's fine. So where am I going to put that commission from? Is the other broker going to pay me that?
Well, you wanna make sure that you are in the position where you're still in escrow, right? Because then we can put a position of holding that money that is gonna be distributed to the brokerage. So this is where you've got to be proactive in your engagement, that you know for a fact that this particular buyer that you've been working with is in escrow. The challenge that we see, and it's sometimes very difficult because the person that ultimately submits the offer has negotiated open escrow, closed escrow, ultimately has heavier leverage to say that, no, we have the burden. We ultimately are the ones that have hearing case. Therefore, it's going to be very difficult to bring a commission. But if you're in escrow and we find out and we have documentation and evidence, that by all means, we can delay the process and ultimately have where escrow will not have to hold the money for commission purposes. That makes sense. So, cool.
Good question. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Great. Always fighting for our commissions. I appreciate you. So today, contract Q&A happening. I assume contract being all contracts?
No,
RPA?
it's gonna be the RPA.
RPA, yeah, that's what I thought. So great time again, if you guys have been to our RPA practice, it's not an in-depth synopsis of the RPA. You definitely want to attend Simon's class today from 3 to 4. Very valuable and a good place to ask all those questions. Thanks, Simon. So let's take a look at what's happening on the calendar and coming up. Red Day, we do have a special guest. Valerie, why don't you come on up here and talk to us a little bit about your project and the Long Beach Organic affiliation.
May I take your spot so I'm seeing?
Sure.
I think I'm gonna see me.
Oh, no, yeah, you'll see on the camera. Yeah, you're good.
Now, by the way, especially at the back where we all the cool kids. Everything's happening right over here. Oh, we're for you.
He's distracted by foosball.
I want to thank those of you who've already signed up for the day and hope that the rest of you certainly will. I'm affiliated with Long Beach Organic. It's a nonprofit. I'm a volunteer there. I'm a board member. Happen to be the president of the board.
Yay.
We develop and manage 9 community gardens in the city of Long Beach. Over 250 households garden with us. The cost to garden is $70 for a 10 by 10 plot of 100 square feet, which is, believe me, enough to grow food for a family of 6. That costs $70 for every season. There are 2 seasons in a year, September to March and April to September or end of August. Organization's been around for 29 years. It's a nonprofit. Everybody is a volunteer with the exception of a garden director who is a 20-hour-a-week employee. Everything's done by volunteers. We develop these gardens. I'm laughing because I've written the leases for the last 2 gardens. I've negotiated the leases. If you think negotiating a contract where you've got a big earnest money deposit, the seller is getting a big payout is difficult. Try negotiating a lease with a $5 security deposit and $1 a year. That's fine. Really fun. But we are developing our 9th garden at 3121 Long Beach Boulevard. That's the garden we're asking you to come and help us develop. what we got so far is our irrigation, which isn't hooked up yet. We have beds. This garden is going to be ADA accessible. So if anyone in a wheelchair, a walker, anyone having difficulty walking will be able to maneuver, use raised beds that have their own water spigot to garden. We do a lot of education, we do a lot of outreach, but our greatest impact is truly on the environment. And that's why these gardens were initially created. The individual who started this, Charles Moore, who is a very wealthy individual. John Reed was his uncle, and there's Reed Elementary School responsible. It's gold oil money in the city of Long Beach. He's still very active as an environmentalist in the city. His idea was these gardens would prevent runoff to the ocean, enrich the soil, and lessen the carbon footprint. So if you think about all our food is shipped, trucked, or flown here from different parts of the country or other countries, none of that happens when you garden and you grow your own food. We use no pesticides. These are organic gardens. So if we have issues with pests, we use biodynamic, natural deterrents. For instance, marigolds are deterrent to insects. I don't like the way they smell. We use, again, organic fertilizers, banana peels, eggshells, coffee grounds. Those are all enriching your food. This new garden will be very irrigation conservative. We will use modern and traditional techniques. A traditional technique that's been around for 2,000 years is called an Oya. It's basically about this big. It's a clay pot, open at the top, open at the bottom. It is planted in the yard, in the ground level, and you water into that. The water goes deep. The plants put down deeper roots. They're more nutritious. We do a lot of nutritional classes. We do a lot of outreach. For the last 3 years, since 2020, we've provided Cal State Long Beach Food Bank with 5,000 pounds of produce every year. They've had that food bank there for more than 20 years, but they didn't have any fresh produce. We specifically design areas in our garden to provide produce. It's called our Giving Garden. Some of you will be working in the Giving Garden. Some of you will be helping to build a tool shed. We supply all the large tools. Some of you will be helping plant trees in the orchard. We have all kinds of activities, and we hope that you will come and join us, improve the environment, make a contribution to the city and to the garden, and maybe get a passion for gardening like I did. I actually participated in a volunteer event at one of these gardens 7 years ago. Waited 2 years to get my garden plot. Every one of these gardens has a waiting list. And the garden where I garden, just across from Armstrong Nursery on 10th Street, it's pretty late.
And you can negotiate for us too.
Yeah.
I regret it. I hope you will come. It will really be a fun day, and it will really be very fulfilling to see the fruit of your labor at the end of the day. See all those plants planted and what you can contribute to the environment, to better nutrition in the city. Our gardeners are a real example of diversity in the city. A lot of our gardens are in the downtown area, which is a food desert. We have gardeners that we know subsist on the food they raise, and we have gardeners like myself for whom this is a hobby. During COVID, we have a plastic surgeon who gardens with us, and he couldn't practice. There was he wasn't doing any surgeries, he wasn't seeing any patients at all. He said the garden saved his life. He hadn't had that garden come and harvest and contribute. Doesn't think he would have made it through those years. So I hope you'll come. I hope I will see you. And perhaps this will inspire you to become involved and engaged in a good way. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Valerie. Fruits of your labor, unintended. You said that it was perfect. Many.
Question, this is, I can't believe that this time goes so fast. It's happening next week on Thursday.
Yes.
What's the plan? Where we're meeting and?
Yeah, so that's what I was just gonna go over. So if you guys haven't already registered for Red Day, make sure you scan the QR code and do so. The plan is that we're meeting at 9 a.m. at the lot itself. It will be from 9 to 2, if you can see down there, down at the bottom. We'll be doing all day from 9 to 2. Don't worry, we're gonna have plenty of shade, hovering. We're gonna have lots of seating areas, so if you need to take a rest, we will have snacks and things like that provided, waters, etc. while you're there, some electrolyte drink. And then we're also gonna provide lunch, which is gonna be right around the middle of that shift that we'll come and provide for you guys. So that's kind of the plan. Show up, when you scan the QR code and submit, we're gonna send you some information ahead of time of what to bring, what to wear, but definitely be prepared for nice sunny weather, sunscreen, hats, etc. But also get ready to get a little dirty. So pull out those boots, right? Pull out those tennis shoes that you don't mind getting all nice and wet, not your Air Force Ones or whatever you guys are talking about. Okay? Air Ones, Nike, yeah. Anyways, good question, Minnie. Any other comments, questions? Excited to see you guys all there. It's gonna be amazing. Okay. Again, it's next week. So join us this Friday for Producers Club. Some of you guys know Stell, great person, great agent. Join him and Manny this Friday. Learn a little bit more about his commercial business and kind of his interesting backstory that he has from his many years. So exciting. All about zip forms, sharpen your skills. Penny McCann's going to be teaching this. Many people don't understand the time-saving tips and techniques that you can use and leverage in zip forms to help make your transactions run more smoothly and to help make sure your clients are being best protected. You can create things like packets, templates that will automatically upload with a click of a button some of the documents you already like and enjoy, so you're not missing any step of the process. So make sure you join Penny this Wednesday at 12. I'm sorry, next Wednesday at 12. How to price your listing with Joni Marshall. Joni is an appraiser. She's also a top agent here in our brokerage, and she's going to be going over how to price your listing. A great resource if you are new to the listings, you're seeing a shifting market right now, not sure where to go. Hear it first from an appraiser. Bring your questions, right? This is going to be a great opportunity. Bring your questions. It's going to be May 17th at 12 as well in person. Okay, how to get no cost leads with Michael McCall. We do have a program here at realtor.com. We call Upcity, and Michael's going to be teaching you how to get started with the Ready Connect concierge to be able to receive those leads. Again, with no upfront cost. That's happening May 18th from 2 to 3. We have Mr. Epics himself, Rob Feldman, May 24th. Lunch will be provided, so make sure you guys come May 24th at 12 p.m. where Rob's going to discuss how to be an ethical agent, questions, things he's seen. He served on the ethics board for many years. So you'll get in a rousing discussion of the Wild West of real estate. Let's just say that. With that, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.